remaining on the clock. Tristan Da Silva led the Magic with 21 points along with 7 assists and 6 rebounds. Orlando's head coach Jamal Mosley spoke post-game on what led to the comeback.
Well, I think you have to reflect a little bit in those moments about what we've been through the past couple games and how we could have let the emotions of the game, whether that's officiating, whether that's calls, whether that's shots going in or not, you have to reflect back. And we said it to them in one of the moments within the game, like we've been here before. Understand what it is when you walk out there. Can we use that passion and that intensity and that energy to bring us together? And that's what these guys did on the back end. We stopped complaining after I got my tech, and then you just go from there. You just focus.
It's 74 degrees at 2 o'clock. Time in Temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Attention. Attention.
They are not ready for prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time. That's the name.
Prime time.
Prime time.
What time is it? Showtime prime time.
It's XL Prime Time, featuring Joe C.
I reduced my toilet paper down to 3 squares.
Matt Hayes.
Big asses and big thighs, yeah.
And Leon Searcy.
Bringing you love, peace, and soul.
How you like me now? How you like me now?
Good to be here on a Monday, a feel-good Monday because of the dub. And in some respects, it's always good to win. You don't even need to explain yourself on that. But in other respects, it's like, wait a minute, what did we gain? We got a dub. We feel good. We beat that team up there in thatville. And Duval is smiling, but did you lose something in the long run? So that's going to be the general talking point for your Jacksonville Jaguars discussion as we welcome you in on a Mokama Beer Company Monday. It's hard to keep track of the days because of the way we have had our holidays kind of jammed in the middle of the week, and our college football playoff will also crank back up in the middle of this week. But we got a couple more days of 2024 that we could talk about some of the great stories that we witnessed this year and then get ready for next year. But we'll begin with this win yesterday, Big Sirs.
Yeah.
We do not have Matt Hayes with us today. He is out in the desert, Scottsdale, getting ready for that Fiesta Bowl, one of the 4 college football playoffs in the quarterfinals. So hopefully we'll hear from him either today or tomorrow. But we will definitely dig in on the college football playoff. But, Jags, to start, you were in the building.
I was. I sent y'all the picture where I was perched before the game. Nice little spot.
It's called the 50-yard line, ladies and gentlemen.
It was the 50-yard line. It was the owner's booth that I was invited. I had a nice time, nice grub, nice view. It was cold as hell up there when they opened those doors. And initially when I sent y'all the text, I said I've got a perfect view from Sucksville. I mean, because I just two bad teams. But I got to give the Jaguars, I got to give them credit for that. I mean, when it comes to beating the bad teams, we do it well. Mm-hmm. We do it well. I mean, I don't care. I know everybody's concerned about draft picks and who we're going to get next year in April and all that kind of stuff. But it was actually good to see the Jaguars play well against a heated rival. We hate the Titans.
Yes.
You know, I made it very apparent. I've spoken in volumes of how much I hate the Titans. So anytime you can sweep in that, listen, let me tell you something what the Jaguars did. This team did that I never was able to do. I never swept the Titans.
Yeah, it is true because you played them 3 times in 1 year going back to 1999.
We split before.
Yeah.
They swept us, but we never swept them. So I tip my hat to this 4-12 Jaguar team.
That is
something that we were never able to do.
Right. That is one bad football team.
It is very bad.
There in Nash Vegas.
It's very bad.
And this one just as bad. And we talked about how are they going to beat that team. Mason Rudolph coming in versus the play of Will Levis was not much better. It was a low score, slow. Took a long time for them to actually get going. They finally did. Then they scored quickly and made it a bit of a game early on in the second half that carried into the fourth quarter. But this football team was able to go down the field once again, opening drive, get points out of it, got up 3-0, and then the beautiful play. Brian Thomas Jr., honestly, has been the biggest Christmas gift that this football team has enjoyed in the month of December. He has just been basically delivering for this football team, delivering hope for Duval, basically, is what he's done.
Yeah, listen, now that Trevor's hurt, he's the face of the franchise. He is. He is the team MVP. I mean, you're talking about a rookie that came in this season. I had high hopes for him. I mean, I underestimated him because at the beginning of the season, I had him at 60, 1,106 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He superseded all that.
And by the way, he's joining some rare air when you talk about him being with the Randy Mosses and the Odell Beckhams of the world.
Well, check this out. I saw this on the internet, so it has to be true.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I find on
anything
the
you
read,
read,
anything you read on the internet has to be true. So I found this on the internet, right, RJ? So I pulled this up, and it's the first time. The first time it says the first rookie class in NFL history to have 4 1,000-yard receivers. Brian Thomas, 1,179. Brock Bowers, 1,144. Malik Neighbors, 1,140. And Ladd McConkey, 1,054.
And by the way, Malik drafted very high. Mm-hmm. Ladd drafted in the second round.
Yep.
Both Georgia Bulldog Bowers, Georgia Bulldog McConkey. Mm-hmm. We know that Carson Beck pretty much missed the heck out of those two this year, and it kind of tells the story of just how good they were when they were wearing the red and black. And now McConkey with Justin Herbert throwing it to him, and then obviously with Bowers and
listen, that's a tribute to all 4 of those receivers. And I was talking to Hacker about this on the 5th quarter, and saying that coming into the NFL is hard enough, and coming to the NFL with a rookie with expectations, high expectations, is even harder. I said because first and foremost, there has to be timing. There has to be timing between the quarterback and the wide receiver. That's why a lot of quarterbacks in the offseason, they get with these guys, they work with them with timing. Then at the time, you have to learn how to deal with press. Press in college is different than press in the NFL. Yeah. All right, so you got to deal with press. You got to deal with how your routes manipulate the zone and find the pockets in the zone. And then you got to be able to run the route tree. And you got to be able to catch. Your catch radius has got to be, let me see it, go 360. You got to have a catch radius of 360. Not only 1 foot, you got to keep both feet in the end zone.
Very true. And both
in bounds.
And the bodies that are on you from the secondary, too.
Yeah, bigger, faster, stronger bodies.
Yeah, they're on top.
And the windows a lot. They close a lot quicker in the NFL than they do in college.
Yeah.
So that's a tribute to all 4 of those guys for doing what they did this year.
It really is. And it's so funny because Malik Neighbors went up and down just in terms of productivity because they had the quarterback change. He had a concussion in the beginning. He was a catch machine. And then basically, we all know what happened. The Giants basically went into tank mode. And then they exploded yesterday against the Indianapolis Colts. And I got a little piece from Pat McAfee that's definitely worth getting into because he absolutely crushed his former team. And you, as a you're a member of the Jags All 25. When you go back and think about some of the great players that we've had here, you're among them. And you do have a voice, a pretty loud voice, when it says whether or not this football team is doing what they need to do to deliver a winner to Duval. They haven't been able to do it this year. And they've basically gone in the crapper from December to December. Two Decembers ago, it was a December to remember. Last December, it was a December to forget. And here we are again. And so now this team, from basically this time a year ago, they have 3 victories between 2 Decembers. 2 this year, 1 last year, and a total of 5 in 21 football games. And so it's actually, I should say 22 football games. So it's nowhere near good enough. And we're going to find out when we get to that next game against the Colts, because the Colts basically played themselves. They didn't basically do it. They played themselves out of a postseason possibility because a lot of things were happening over the last handful of days, and Indianapolis still could have had a say. They got their doors blown off by the New York Football Giants.
They was officially eliminated from the playoffs when they lost that game, which is crazy. But here in Jacksonville, over the last 12 months, man, we've had nothing to really celebrate.
No.
You're right. We've had 5 wins in a calendar year, 5 years in the calendar year, with the expectations that came in along with this season, with Trevor getting back healthy and all the draft picks and all the guys in free agency and everything. Like, we thought we could make a better run. We thought last year was just a blip on the radar.
Yeah.
That we were going to right the ship, and we did nothing of that.
Yeah, I really did feel like it was going to be a quick course correction this year. Make a coaching change, get a hold of your offense. I thought Doug Peterson would be a much better coach, and I don't know what to totally attribute it to. I think it's more you need to blame a little bit of that, a little bit of that, a little bit of that, a little bit of that. I don't think it's any just one answer, but I'm just blown away at how poor this thing ended up looking over the course of this season.
You know, I was up this morning. I was actually watching Get Up, and Danny O said something very interesting that it probably pertains here to Doug Peterson. He was talking about Mike McCarthy. He was talking about the offense and how schematically is probably too old to what these new age offensive coordinators are putting together. And I'm looking at, and
you know how I've been feeling about
and I've been
that.
thinking about Doug Peterson, and Doug Peterson isn't he from the West Coast
It's a
offense
West
tree?
Coast swing offense, yes.
And maybe some of that stuff schematically just don't play in this, because just like players evolve, get bigger, stronger, and faster, so do offenses. Offenses now want to, you want to ramp it up, you want to speed it up, you want to keep the defense on its toes, you want to keep them confused by formations and shifts and alignments and all that kind of stuff. And I watch our offense, and I watch it against the elite offenses in the NFL, and I'm saying, man, listen, there's a reason why dinosaurs are extinct. Okay,
it's the truth.
There's a reason.
And Coach Campbell will be in here tomorrow, and he always, at least he's the smart one when it comes to coaching and taking a look at all. And he basically says there's really not that much difference. But I maintain, and we always like sparring about this, that it seems like it is so much easier to defend. And this football team is also lacking talent. Okay, you might be able to run this offense. Doug Peterson learned under Andy Reid, and Andy Reid has been as innovative as they come.
Mm-hmm.
He's willing to take chances, do a lot of different things. He's been saddled at times with either injuries or whatever that left him with either not enough guys in the backfield or not enough guys in the pattern, and he's just been able to work through it. They just continue to make plays.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Pat Mahomes being one of the biggest reasons, but then also just the innovation that Andy Reid's been able to bring to the table. I don't see the innovation here.
I don't.
And I am so sick and tired of seeing 1st and 10 turn into 2nd and 9 because your running back got hit in the backfield and gained 1 yard.
Mm-hmm.
And, heck, there was one yesterday. I'm pretty sure I'd have to go back and look at the time of the game. Anyway, they let ETN bust off a big run, which is great. You want to see that. And then they hand it off to him again on 1st down.
Mm-hmm.
It's 2nd and 9.
Yeah.
Give me a break, man.
It is. It's boring. It's predictable, and that's why it's easy to defend. I mean, I'm watching games. I'm watching the Tampa Bay Buccaneers the other day.
Yeah.
Yesterday, and they're blowing the doors off of teams with their defense. With their offense. All these other teams that we see that are putting up numbers. We're talking the Chiefs, the Chargers. We're talking about the Bucks. We're talking about the Eagles. We're talking about all these teams that are putting up all these numbers or whatever, and they're blowing the doors off of it. Yeah, we went toe-to-toe with the Eagles and ended the interception away from winning that game or whatever, but I'm just saying, offensively, we seem just as predictable as the weather every day here in Jacksonville.
All right, I'll give you a couple of them. Now, out there in the middle of this sorry NFL late in the year when teams just aren't very good, there is a 6-3 ball game out there. And we were treated to that Thursday night. Remember just how bad that one was?
All kind of bad, yes.
Okay, but then on Saturday, the Chargers explode for 40 points. They beat a bad football team. That's what they're supposed to do. So they scored 40, and then 4 teams were in the 40s yesterday against teams that if you got it going, you should be able to beat them up. And heck, the New York flipping Giants were one of the teams that got in the 40s yesterday. It doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense that this team is just so stagnant offensively. It takes forever to even get a field goal or get in field goal position or get Brian Thomas Jr. in position or Parker Washington in position to score. 45 points from the Giants yesterday, 40 from the Bills against the how bad has the Jets defense become? It's become terrible.
Real bad.
And so they end up blowing the doors off of them 40-14. And then you got 2 more, 48-14. You mentioned the Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield is having himself a season. That is one fun offense to watch. And then the Eagles erupt for 41 under Kenny Pickett's direction.
Yeah.
And then they even had to go to his backup after he gets knocked out with, I guess it was a broken rib or a bruised rib. But anyway, he got the heck knocked out of him. And they went to basically their third quarterback and still did what they needed to do.
Yeah.
I don't know how long it would take this team to score 40 points. They did make it to 20 yesterday, so I will give them that.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it. All right, RJ, real quick, before we get to our first break, Mokama Beer Company Monday, we definitely want to set you guys up, and you definitely can have some interaction with us either on YouTube. All you got to do is go and search 1010XL, look at XL Primetime, and you can jump in on the conversation as far as what went down yesterday, your thoughts about what this offense really does represent and how you'd like to change it and who you'd like to have operating it. You can definitely do that. Of course, the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures at 641-1010. You can jump on there. All right, now just play this one right now, RJ. Mac Jones, because this is the last home game that you may see a Duval-grown quarterback in a Duval uniform. Not saying that it's impossible that he's not back, but it would seem likely that he might be a chess piece in the offseason, so we'll kind of see. But anyway, here is Mac talking about what Doug has meant to him.
Yeah, it's been awesome. I mean, I've definitely found a little bit more joy in football, and that's a big credit to the coaches, and they just keep it loose no matter what, regardless of the results. Just go in each week and have fun at practice, which is important for me, and obviously you want to translate that into wins, and that will come. So I've been really impressed with not only their football IQ and knowledge, but just how they run the team, and all the coaches really on the offensive side have done a great job.
All right, this is not a shot at Mac, but do you want guys all talking about how happy they are, no matter what the result is? Keeping it loose?
Listen, I mean, at this particular point in the season, it don't bother me. Okay, it doesn't bother me.
Now,
it doesn't bother me as much, all right? Being loose and happy, because the season is essentially a wash, all right? So he's keeping it light. Yeah, it's a bust or whatever. Now, if we're trying to make a playoff push and I'm hearing this kind of noise, then I'm a little worried. Okay. But right now, I'm 4-12. Seasons are lost. You're a game away from Cancun. I don't mind as much. No, I don't.
I have to admit, I am surprised that the New York Giants did what they did yesterday.
I am too.
And we will get into that. We will get into a couple of other things, including Leon's. I look at the YouTube audience, and I was going to say Miami's quarterback, but I'm going to say Leon's quarterback, Cam Ward, played a half, didn't play the second half. Well, you got some news on that we will get into.
Some insight, yes.
Yeah, coming up here in just a second. Mokama, they are up there in beautiful Fernandina Beach. They are right there in just as you enter the historic area on South 8th Street, you'll see the beautiful tap room. It's an old 50s car dealership, and it's just warm and inviting. Coffee every single day. They've got the baristas ready to work for you, but then also craft Tuesday through Sunday. It's a great place to go hang out, have a meeting, have some cold craft. The menu is always there as well out of their kitchen, so you can enjoy that, or their Wildlight location also up in Nassau County. Make sure you check them out for great local brew, and then, of course, on the shelves at ABC and Total with Mokama.com. You can check them out. So let's talk Jags. Let's talk big picture in the NFL. Who played themselves out of the postseason? Who played themselves in for a big setup Week 18 finale? We'll set all that coming up on XL Primetime.
Get insight from the Jags head coach.
I believe that our goals are still in front of us.
Doug Peterson joins the Frangie Show Fridays at 4:05. Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson, Custom Windows and Doors. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars on 1010XL.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. Most goals we set for ourselves have a clear path, like I want to go see the Winter Storms in Vancouver. So you read a couple reviews and talk to some friends and book it. Maybe a couple choices along the way, but overall, it's a clear course to reach your goal. Now, if your goal is to lose 40 or 50 pounds, where's the clear path? You read reviews, you talk with a few friends, try something out, it doesn't work, and you're disappointed. And we've all been there, and it blows. Stop doing that. Do what I did. Reach your goal with a Waco 180 weight loss. It's a clear path to success without disappointment. No guesswork, no trial and error, no medication side effects. I'm proof I lost 40 pounds in 9 weeks on a Waco 180, and Hackers lost 120. You can too. Trust me. It was simple. A word you never hear used in weight loss programs, unless, of course, you're referring to a Waco 180. Choose the simple, clear path to success with a solution for weight loss. A Waco 180 weight loss at awaken180weightloss.com.
If you're watching football this season, you know anything can happen. And on Hard Rock Bet, we mean anything. One fan in South Florida turned a $1 touchdown parlay into a $40,000 payday. Hard Rock Bet has parlays for days. With flex parlays, now you can even miss a few picks and still get paid. Parlays for every kind of play. Only on Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us. When your first bet or get up to $100 back in bonus bets. Payable and bonus bet up to $100, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
These are interesting economic times. That's why it's so important to have someone you can count on. That's ITP Partners. Jacksonville folks taking care of our Jacksonville money. Experience? You best believe you want to give your hard-earned money to folks you trust. Jeff Hartman, Chris Bryan, Dan Abel, Reed Wingate, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reagan Wright have the expertise and knowledge to help clients in their financial lives. Focusing on investment management, financial planning, and risk management. ITP Partners. Financial partners for life. Securities offered through American Portfolios Financial Services, Inc. Member FINRA SIPC.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey. Here in North Florida, you know that when temperatures go up and your AC goes out, you need help now. Like right now. Like lickety-split. So why not call Lickety Split and get same-day emergency service for your AC? Now, I bet you've seen their trucks all over town because they've got dozens of certified technicians ready to repair not only your AC, but your home's plumbing and electrical, too. So when you want it done right and you need it done right now, call Lickety Split, AC, Plumbing, and Electric.
The Florida Forum welcomes New York Times bestselling author Deepak Chopra, moderated by Shad Khan, January 15th. Funds raised for a Kids Care Mobile ICU, a neonatal and pediatric critical care transport vehicle. Kids Care vehicles and helicopters safely transport more than 2,200 infants and children a year to Wolfson Children's Hospital. To get your tickets, call 202-2886 or click thefloridaforum.com.
Baloo for Shinatri Chiropractic. They've helped me get rid of my headaches and pain in my neck and back. Are you suffering from an auto accident? What about TMJ pain? Headaches associated with jaw clenching, grinding of the teeth, or stress-related disorders? Shinatri Chiropractic has a physical therapist on staff for rehabilitation, quality chiropractic care, dry needling, massage, and acupuncture. Call 743-6700 or go to ShinatriDC.com.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Grinding out good grades can be just as challenging as winning games. That's why 1010XL salutes the Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists and the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234. Wednesdays on The Frangie Show.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
Hey, Hicken here, or just call me Dreamfinders Danny. For a limited time to ring in the new year, Dreamfinders Homes is offering an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now's your chance to lock down that rate and get in the game. You heard me right. It's 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to dreamfindershomes.com for more details.
This is Mark Nato. My sons and I have seen the doctors and PAs at Southeast Ortho for everything from lumbar spine stress to elbow tendonitis. Southeast has always been there, been truthful, and always been on point. Everything they say happens. We can't thank them enough for what they've done and the great care that they have taken of our sons.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Mack drops the throw. He's looking. Fires it to the left side. Corner of the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! Brian Thomas Jr. for the score!
Yeah, I was, you said Randy Moss. I was on the sideline in Green Bay when Randy had a big day in Minnesota against us. I remember that, his rookie season. And, Randy Moss is a heck of a receiver. And, Brian just keeps impressing each week and can't say enough good things about Brian. And just happy for him. But it just goes to show you, just with him and speaking of Brian, just the way he works, the way he handles himself for a young kid, very impressive. Very impressed with Brian.
It's Mocama Monday on XL Primetime. Head to the tap room in Fernandina Beach every day that ends with Y and enjoy some Mocama.
Yeah, there's no reason not to be jacked about what Jacksonville has in Brian Thomas Jr., and he does look like, and I tweeted this out yesterday, and tell me if you agree, Big Sirs, that they haven't had this type of guy, size, speed, athletic ability, and obviously the ability to bring in the ball, to make the catch, since Jay Smooth.
I agree. Absolutely.
And Jimmy came in after going through trying to catch on in Dallas, and it didn't happen. And so once he got here, he obviously became very comfortable and became a superstar. But they haven't had a guy since.
No, they haven't. Not with that kind of size, and speed, and breakaway ability. No. I mean, the physicalness is going to come. I mean, initially. I mean, because right now when you see him in man coverage, I mean, he's able to beat it with his feet, his footwork, and his speed. Right. Jimmy was able to do that, and Jimmy was strong. He was powerful. He would get you up off him if you tried to press him. I wish more DBs had pressed Jay Smooth back in the day. He'd have a lot more touchdowns because he was a strong individual. But I'm gonna say this about Brian Thomas: he is, and I hope he gets there. He is going to be. He's gradually moving into Divaville. And Divaville, and I know that, I mean, that may sound like it's a joke. No, when I say Divaville, I'm talking about he's getting to a point to where he knows he's a man. And then next year, he's going to command the ball. He's going to be in situations, in game time situations where he say, listen, get me the ball. Right. This guy can't check me. Because I was there with Jimmy. I was there with Keenan McCardell. It was in situations where they say, hey, listen, Martin, give me the damn ball. This guy can't cover me. And I'm hoping that Brian Thomas, I know he's quiet and shy and all that kind of stuff, but eventually, if he wants to win ball games, he knows that you get the ball in my hand, I can help you win ball games.
Yeah, if you think about what comes out of this year, as bad as it's been, is that you may have been able, and by the way, I will give Trent Baalke credit for this, because there was debate about whether or not this guy was just a deep one-route guy, that's all he could do. He led the college football world with touchdown receptions his last year at LSU. And we all loved on this guy during his last year in Baton Rouge, but we didn't really know exactly how good he would be. Thought he'd be good, but we do need to give Baalke credit for making that decision and being able to move back in the first round of the draft and get that guy. But the fact that he has 80 grabs, nearly 1,200 yards, double-digit touchdowns, and all the stuff that he's done. And when you want to put him in, this is the saucy part of it, and you guys probably saw this on social yesterday and what Leon was just bringing up, but 80 catches, 1,179 yards, and 10 touchdowns, fourth rookie in the Super Bowl era with at least 1,110, and that is in company with Odell Beckham Jr., did it in 2014. Jamar Chase did it in 2021, another former LSU Tiger. And then Randy Moss. Yeah. That is some rare air right there.
Saucy nugs.
You will definitely take advantage of that.
Well, that's a good company, because one has a gold jacket and the other two will eventually get one.
You better believe it. Here's the other thing, and this is a little bit of the conversation that was taking place on X yesterday, is anybody who watched Cincinnati and the fact that T. Higgins was questionable in going into the game Saturday against the Denver Broncos. He wanted to play. He knows his free agency is coming up. At least you would expect that he is going to become a free agent. That guy, T. Higgins, paired with Brian Thomas Jr., and then what Parker Washington has been able to do in terms of, it's not like he's 100% replaced Christian Kirk, but he works out of the slot pretty good. And that is if you could go get a T. Higgins, and you might look for somebody else. Terry McLaurin's been mentioned, and a handful of other guys as well. That's a pretty good receiving core right there.
Yeah. It's going to cost you, though.
Oh, yes, it will.
At least 100.
Well, yeah. Whoever goes and gets T, and T. Higgins, by the way, let's quickly point out, he has prospered off of Jamar Chase being on the opposite side of that line.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But he made himself some money the other night with a couple of huge catches in that game, playing hurt, coming back, all that type of stuff. But they need that, okay? You know where the successes are in the National Football League, and you need to have dynamic playmakers, both sides. Wherever the coverage is rolling, you need to have another guy that can combat that.
They'll both be benefactors of each other if you bring a guy like that.
Yes,
here.
Heck yes.
Yeah.
All right, so right now, it's like we said, did you win in the end when it comes to the draft? That will come later. The difference between a top 3 pick and a top 5 pick, at least right now, And when you're taking a look at the draft, I love this one. RJ sent it to us just to the fact that the last time, if the Jaguars were to stay in that fifth spot, because that's currently where they are right now, because the Giants winning yesterday dropped them. And now you take a look at the draft order. The Patriots are picking first. Titans are picking second because of the loss yesterday. The Cleveland Browns are picking third. And basically you have 4 3-win clubs and 5 4-win clubs. And Jacksonville's now the worst of the 4-win teams, and they're sitting fifth. And the Giants went from first to fourth with that win yesterday.
Fans aren't happy.
They can't be, but the players got to be.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course the players, they want to win, especially towards this end of the season when you're having a terrible season. You want to win. It's all about the feel good.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about the feel good. You only got 2 games left, and they can't. I was surprised that they mud stomped the Colts the way they beat them in that game. But the fans of New York can't be happy because they had their eyes all over Shador Cam Ward with that first pick overall.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man. Anyway, there's some names that we have seen come out of that number 5 slot that have been memorable and then disappointing going forward. So we will get into those coming up, but we will be looking at that number 5 slot if that's indeed where they stay. You got the Colts coming up this Sunday to finish out the season. We'll be talking all about that. Let's get to the college football playoff coming up here in just a second. We mentioned there were a handful of other games that we need to touch on, and I mentioned the Cam Ward controversy, so let's just set it up real quick, and then Leon will give us some intel coming up here in just a second. Cam Ward plays half of a football game, makes his mark, a historic number in terms of yardage. That's what he wanted to do, touchdowns, yards, and everything, and he doesn't play the second half of the game. Everyone is up in arms. I'm telling you, the overreaction of this one
I know.
is unreal.
And I tell people, I try to tell people, listen, you stay in your yard, you water and cut your own grass, all right? I know I got the insight on Cam Ward early this morning.
All right, so let's do that coming up here in just a second, and we will definitely jump in on that. And there's a handful of other bowl games that have been going on that we will touch on as well. It is XL Primetime on a Mokama Beer Company Monday.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
Rev up your life with luxury at Vaughn Motor Group on San Jose Boulevard. Right now, used car prices are 12% lower than their peak in April of 2022, making this the perfect time to drive home in a dream car. Specializing in luxury used vehicles, offering you elegance at prices that are finally coming back down to earth. See special listings in the newspaper every Saturday or online at VaughnMotorGroup.com for a complete inventory listing. If you can dream it, you can drive it at Vaughn Motor Group.
Everybody, Mike Dempsey here. Listen, I'm all about a sure thing. I like putting my money down knowing I'm going to win, and that's exactly what Awaken 180 was for me, a sure bet. I dropped 25 pounds in just over a month, and let me tell you, the results speak for themselves. Now, imagine this. You start Awaken 180 now, and when February rolls around, you've already lost 20 pounds. Or maybe you're like Matt Hayes, down 40 pounds by March. And don't even get me started on Hacker. Dude's lost over 100 pounds. Life-changing results, and I got to see it firsthand. Awaken 180 isn't some gimmick. You eat, you're never starving, and the weight just comes off fast. No guesswork, no crash diets, just a plan that works. And the best part, it's built to last thanks to free support for life. Don't wait for another failed resolution. Start your new year with the program that is the sure bet. Visit Awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800. Make sure this year is the year you win big with Awaken 180.
Post Game Monday on 1010XL is brought to you by Dandy Foods, makers of quality fresh sandwiches and home of the good stuff.
While other books make promises, MyBookie delivers. This holiday season, they're stacking the deck in your favor with 12 days of Christmas. Now through the 31st, a festival lineup of can't-miss opportunities for bettors to cash in on. Risk-free Thursday, Super Boost, free bets, weekly casino giveaways with hundreds of winners and thousands in cash prizes. All it takes is a 50-cent spin on BetSoft slots to enter. With the road to New Orleans, bowl games galore, and a Christmas Day sports feast featuring NFL and an NBA doubleheader, this is your season to win. The 12 Days of Christmas event is live right now. Don't wait. Use promo code 1010XL with your first deposit, and MyBookie will give you a little extra start to your holiday. MyBookie is offering a 50% deposit bonus for 1010XL listeners just for signing up and using promo code 1010XL. There's a reason MyBookie has been the go-to for serious bettors for 10 years. Whether it's UFC, NFL, college ball, or casino, bet and win with confidence. Make your holiday season a jolly one with MyBookie.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know before you blow. Go to knowbeforeyouBlow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
How many points are there on the Statue of Liberty? The answer coming up.
If you haven't stayed on top of your coverage responsibilities for your family's home, you really should review it annually. Renew with confidence or call us and let Southern Oak answer your questions. We'll save you money.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
There are 7 points on the crown of the Statue of Liberty, referencing all 7 continents.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Universal Roof and Contracting presents the Offensive Player of the Game. Universal Roof and Contracting. The difference is universal.
Brian Thomas Jr. once again showed his dominance on Sunday. The phenomenal one recorded 91 yards on 7 receptions and had a touchdown in what was a remarkable showing. BTJ has been the MVP for this ball club and is your Universal Roof and Contracting Offensive Player of the Game.
This holiday season, Universal Roof and Contracting is making it easy to check roof repairs off your list. Get 15% off roof repairs or replacement, plus a $250 gift card to brighten your holiday shopping. Get flexible financing with payments as low as $150 a month and free roof inspections. Secure your home and your savings today. Call 855-ROOF-HELP or visit universalroof.com. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On December 30th, 2018, Patrick Mahomes becomes the only second quarterback in NFL history to throw for 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns during the Chiefs' win over the Raiders.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just a job, but an experienced, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
Barley and Pie Brewing Company in Fleming Island is excited to announce an all-new happy hour, 7 days a week. You heard right. Every day from 3 until 6 p.m. and again from 9 until close. Barley and Pie has deals you can't resist. 2-for-1 clay lights, 2-for-1 house wines, and much more. Experience the all-new happy hour at Barley and Pie Brewing Company in Fleming Island.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Jaguars wide receiver Parker Washington found the end zone on Sunday against the Titans.
From the 3-yard line, play fake. Mack drops the throw. Looking, fires back in the end zone. That's Parker Washington. Did he get both feet down? Yes, he did. Touchdown! Parker Washington in the back of the end zone for the score.
Frank Frangie on Jaguars Radio. Parker Washington on Sunday's victory.
I mean, I feel like everybody knows this shows true character, who you are as a man and how you're going to approach, even when the circumstance doesn't say playoffs and there's something to play for. But we have everything to play for in my book.
Parker Washington, courtesy of Jaguars.com. With your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars Update, I'm Andrew Gibson.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's It's Mocama Monday on XL Primetime. Head to the tap room in Fernandina Beach every day that ends with Y and enjoy some Mocama.
Love the Mocama. You can definitely pick up any one of them on the shelves at ABC or Total. When you're talking about that great craft, it could be any number of things. We're talking pilsners, stouts, fruited, sours, of course, the IPAs. You know I love them. They got them all. You can definitely check them out at Mocama.com. All right, so we mentioned Miami. Big Searcy is a Hurricane Hall of Famer, so we got to get some intel from him. And then we have an extra special guest. Denny Thompson found out that Matt Hayes wasn't here, so he broke the speed limit to get here and says, I'm just going to hang out with you guys and just chill.
I'm coming after his job.
Yeah, exactly. You're coming after. He said, no, Matt. He goes, I got that chair.
Can't make the club in the tub, Matt.
Yeah.
You go down, I'm coming in to get it.
So we will still do our quarterback whisper, but Denny is going to hang out. All right, so Leon, let's just at least break it down here. Cam Ward is in the Pop-Tart Bowl. By the way, Taylor Dahl has requested you say Pop-Tart Bowl as many times as you possibly can because she loves it.
I know. She was trolling me on X, talked about the sideline, had the sprinkles on it. It's just terrible.
There's nothing better than Mario Cristobal. Mario Cristobal is his post-game presser. It's a beautiful thing. You can find it on X, but his post-game presser has a stack of hot fudge Pop-Tarts right in front of him as he is having to answer all the questions about why Cam Ward didn't play in the second half. He's got a big stack of hot fudge Pop-Tarts right there. It is just classic. You can't beat it.
Yeah.
It's too big of a stack.
It is. Absolutely.
Take a row down there.
Overindulgence.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. All right, so Cam Ward plays and then doesn't play. That has been the talk among everybody, just ripping him.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. First of all, the pundits, they're not a part of the family are making assumptions about the family, but you don't know nothing about the family. We're just going to put that out there real quick.
Mm-hmm.
All right? I don't know what I just said, but it sound pretty good coming out of my mouth.
Don't ever take sides with anyone against the family again. Ever.
Thank you, RJ. I appreciate that.
Simple.
So I had to get some intel.
Mm-hmm.
I still know people down there. I am in the Hall of Fame down there. So I asked the question. I said, "What's going on with Cam?" Because I didn't have a real problem I didn't have a problem with it. But then when I look on social media, everybody has lost their mind that Cam Ward, didn't play the whole game with us. So to my understanding, is that Cam it was agreed upon that he was going to play a quarter of the game or half, one of the two, because the record was out there. All right, they wanted him to have the record. So he played a quarter, got the record in the first quarter. All right, got the record in the first quarter, and he played the second quarter. And my understanding is that they pulled him in the second half.
Right.
And when they were up 31-28, they were told that that's done. Now everybody's in uproar because we didn't win the Pop-Tart Bowl. Because if he had played in the second half, we would have won the Pop-Tart Bowl. And then there's people they're in the outrage that he didn't play in the second. Listen, first of all, if this guy didn't play in 3 or 4 games this season, we're 6-6 at best. We're 6-6 at best. They see people have selective amnesia. They forgot that this guy in the 3 or 4 of the games that we played and brought them back to win the games to where they're a 10-win team and not a 6-6 team. So the best thing he could have done. Listen, whatever he had done, no one's going to be happy. If he had opted out and didn't play at all, people would have been like, "Oh, he couldn't play." So then so they pulled him in the second half, and then people are upset. "Oh, we had a chance to win." Stop it. Just stop it. Yeah. I just say just stop it.
I mean, the risk that he took is significant.
Yes.
I mean, and there's people listening, "Oh, he's got insurance." Y'all don't understand. This insurance ain't, you don't want to have to use the insurance.
Yeah.
You're getting pennies on the dollar at that point. The risk that he took jogging out there for a single snap in what is, largely a meaningless game, the NIT, basically. If you're not in the playoffs, the rest of the bowls are the NIT.
It's unfortunate the bowls.
Right. It is what it is.
But yeah.
It is what it is. I tip my cap to him. I just assumed that, Leon, that it was one of those things that they probably met with before.
Yes.
And
exactly.
said, I'm going to get a half.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to get the young guy in because they got a season to play next year too, by the way.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's a chance to get him some good reps. It worked out where, it looks bad, but it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, because initially he was going to get a quarter.
Mm-hmm.
He broke the record in the first quarter.
And he kept going.
And he wanted to keep going. So he played another quarter. and then they were not going to let him play past the half, so they pulled him.
I know Cam. Cam's not a prima donna. Cam's got so much dog in him.
Yeah.
Like it's not that I've not talked to Cam. I don't know what happened, but I know Cam, and that's not the way Cam rolls. Like Cam's a dog, man.
And it sounds like what Leon said is that he's the one who asked in instead of asked out. Let's make this the 10-10 take right now, because this is something that everybody wants it their way, which basically is whatever didn't happen.
Now, Joe C's 10-10 take. Slow smoked and served up by Sonny's Barbecue. Local pitmasters since 68.
Oh, you can celebrate, ring in the new year without cooking dinner. Just drop by any one of your areas, Sonny, especially tomorrow. You go home, you get ready for some party time later on, get you some good cooking, and that way you'll have it all ready to go. Maybe leftovers heading into the New Year's Day, a rack of ribs, some delicious chicken, whatever you might want. So everyone is railing on Cam Ward for not playing a half when he actually played a football game. And as Denny described it, and we're all basically in agreement, it truly is a meaningless, in terms of the big picture, a meaningless game. So what have we had over the last handful of years? We have had opt-outs everywhere. Guys that basically said, and I'd have to go back and see how far we're going, but I always use the timeline from Leonard Fournette on. Leonard Fournette in 2016 basically opted out. He says, I ain't playing in that bowl game. And we've had a lot of guys that have opted out since then. This guy, at the very least, played a half of football, and you're still hammering him instead of him just basically saying, I'm not playing at all. You've seen everything you need to see of me. And he gave him just that little bump, which I thought was good.
Well, here's what you do. If you don't like the kids that are opting out, the kids that are signing the NIL deals, put a clause in the contract that says they got to finish the season out, including the bowl game.
It's there.
Yeah,
it's in a lot of them.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to piggyback off of Joe. You're going to see less of the opt-outs because of that.
Yeah.
That last NIL payment don't hit till the end of December.
I'm all about it.
Yeah.
All about it.
If you want to forego that and sit it out, that's your decision.
It's basically, if you quit before you get that last paycheck, you quit on that paycheck, okay? And the NIL agreements will basically say, hey, you represent this university until you have completed your agreement, and that includes the bowl game. And I'm fine. I like the fact
to
that
be
we're
clear,
seeing
though,
this
I
guy
just want to
play.
make sure we have, separation here. None of us are saying that was Cam's deal. I don't know what Cam's contract was. I'm just simply saying that it is in some contracts now that you have to finish whatever that season is in order to get that last payment.
And that's fair.
Yeah.
Because you're a professional. When you get paid now, I want to hear this amateurs, that's out the door.
Oh, it's
when
gone.
you're making the millions of dollars that you're making at the collegiate level, you are a professional athlete.
And I will round of applause to the Shadors, to the T. Hunters of the world, to the Cam Wards of the world, the guys that easily could say, I'm combine bound. And Denny, you know this from having to get other guys ready, including Anthony Richardson going back a couple of seasons ago, and soon Carson Beck and some others. But they opt out. That's what they do. Caleb Williams is another good example last year. Jaden Daniels opted out last year. And why? Because they basically said, you've seen everything you need to see. I'm not putting myself in harm's way, and I'm going to stay as high as I am on the draft board as I possibly can.
Well, and if you're a quarterback, too, and all of a sudden you're Wednesday of that game week, and you've got a receiver that's opted out, you've got a left tackle that's opted out, and you get the sense, and Leon played in too meaningful of bowls to probably ever experience this, but I think if you go to a bowl as an 8-5 team or whatever it is, even a 9-3 team, whatever it is,
right?
During the week, you get the sense that, oh, wait, they're going to play some young kids this week.
Yeah.
Like, that's what they're going to do because they have a season to play. I don't know. I think as a quarterback, you go, do I want to play behind that guard right there that's taking place now?
Hey, I'm glad you brought that up because that's what happened to me my senior year. My senior year, I played in the East-West Shrine game. All right. I went to East-West Shrine game because I wanted to go up against the number one defensive end in the country, which was Robert Porcher of South Carolina State. So I followed him to the East-West Shrine game. Had a great week of practice. We made so much money. The whole thing is practice. So we get in the game, and we're playing against them. I'm playing left tackle. I got this guy next to me. He's a guard from Illinois. He's getting destroyed, all right? He's getting destroyed, and he's the guy that's beating him, his name is Santana Dotson. Remember him?
Oh, yeah.
He was destroying them. He was throwing him on the back of my leg.
Yeah.
And I had to make a business decision. Am I going to stay? This was the first quarter. Am I going to stay in this game and let this guy was getting destroyed, blow out my knee, or am I going to pull myself in the game? And guess what I did? I pulled myself. I ain't ashamed to say it. I pulled a fake injury. I said my hamstring, and I sat out the rest of the game because this kid that was next to me was not of my caliber, and he was getting destroyed.
Yep.
All I needed for them to do is have him throw him on the back of my knee or blow my knee out, and first round is over.
Yeah. And as a college football fan, you want your team to play some young guys in the bowl games. There's nobody doing anything wrong in this. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the coach mailing it in. It's actually the coach trying to grow a program.
Right.
It's just, I think this is really a blameless situation that just got a lot of noise because the way the game ended. It really is, I don't know, too bad is probably a not strong enough way to say it.
Yeah. Well,
calm down. Just that's it. Just everybody calm
part.
down. Just calm down.
He's the best quarterback we've had since Ken Dorsey, by the way.
Oh, yeah, right? Like
and we're talking about 20 some odd years.
Yeah.
And it goes back to what both of you guys said. There is a season after this season. They're going to keep playing football down there, right? And the whole idea is whenever you do make it to a bowl game, you get 15 extra practices, whatever the number is, and you got to integrate the noobs. You got to bring them up and say, hey, young son, you are now – Leon Searcy's on his way out. Now you're taking his place. I need to see some of that before we go into spring.
No question. That coach knows that bowl game's meaningless.
Yeah. They got bigger trouble. They got bigger worries than Cam Ward.
I don't think Mario Cristobal has a bonus in his contract for winning the Pop-Tarts bowl.
Listen, I tell you what, if I seen that in the trophy case in Miami, I'm kicking in the win. I'm glad. I'm not saying I'm glad we lost the Pop-Tart bowl, but if I go there in the trophy case, there's a damn toaster, I'm kicking in the damn glass. I'm telling you right now.
The over-under in this game was 62.5, okay? I should have hard rock bet as much as I could, but because it was 31-30 at the half.
Wow.
Okay, so 61 points on a 62.5 point total were all in the first 30 minutes of the ball game. So one of our texters, text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, can't believe y'all think it's okay to let this young man who does not give a damn about the university break Vinny's record.
What?
Well, he gave a damn about the university enough to go play and put him in position. I don't believe Cam Ward cost this team a shot at the ACC championship, or for that matter, a shot at the CFP. Mario's defense cost them a shot.
Yeah.
Well, wait. Back up on that. So would you rather him not have played well enough to break a record?
Yeah, it's on.
That's confusing.
It is confusing me. It is confusing because you're hoping that he wasn't good enough to break the record.
Right.
So now that he broke the record, now you're ashamed that he did. That makes no sense.
Yeah, it doesn't. Look, there's a lot of influences around these guys, and this is Ryan McGee, who I dearly love, Ryan McGee. But and people have to put their thoughts out there, and I don't have any problem with what Ryan said because it's his words, but he believes that Cam got bad advice. And I like the fact that Leon pointed out that the guy made a decision to play instead of not to play. Ryan's tweet is, the biggest issue with opt-outs, transfers, etc., is bad advice. Someone convinced Cam Ward this was the way to go. Now he'll have to answer for it over and over and over from now until the NFL draft is done.
No, he don't.
I just don't
think
he
doesn't.
Can we spend a minute on that?
Yeah.
On that statement? Because there's nobody like, I don't know, I think I would be considered a guy who provides advice to a couple of guys.
Yes. You have.
There's not
right
a world where I'm sitting there at halftime going, hey, get out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nobody's giving these guys. Nobody went up to Cam and said, I'm pretty certain, and said, hey, man, you're done.
Mm-hmm.
Like Leon said, this was all scripted out, like just like the first 15 plays of a game. Like, this was what you had to work with.
Right.
And it was more than fair considering it is a worthless game.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think sometimes people have the wrong interpretation of these guys getting bad advice. Do guys get bad advice? Sure. But about coming out at halftime in the Pop-Tarts game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And answer the second part of this question before we head into the 3 o'clock hour. You being around players who are being drafted high, who have agent representation, who have NFL scouts, GMs, owners, whomever, coming and talking to your side of this equation, does anyone bring up the fact that a guy opted out?
They may ask him. I mean, they may ask Cam. They don't know if he's going to go Shrine Bowl Senior, but I don't know what Cam's doing. But if he's got 5 minutes, they're going to spend 15 seconds. Hey, what happened in the bowl game? Yeah. He's going to tell them, and it'll never come up again.
Yeah. Just want to make sure we're.
And what's alarming to me is that Miami has stayed silent throughout this whole process when they know this whole thing was scripted. So they don't want to give you the impression that they scripted this for him to just play a half and move forward. The fact that they're staying silent is an indictment on them themselves.
All right, I'm gonna say this as we head to break, and then we'll keep Denny hanging out with us in the 3 o'clock hour. I'm gonna say this because Leon's on that side of the room and I'm on this side of the room. Miami has what? 2 bowl wins in its last 16 years or something. Nah, you better want that trophy in there. The Pop-Tart toaster. It's XL Primetime.
Everything you need to know about your hometown team.
Jaguars Today.
Go inside the Jags and the NFL every day from 10 to noon with Mike, Tony, and Jags Insiders.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios at 1010XL.
Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
It's the final days to get inflation fighter savings at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. The final days to save thousands with just $500 down and $288 per month for a pre-owned 2021 Toyota Corolla. Or you choose a pre-owned 2021 Camry, RAV4, or Tacoma for $500 down and $388 per month. Don't wait. The final days of inflation fighter savings are here. So get to Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned today. Shop in person at 10939 Atlantic Boulevard or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
Have you tried golfing at the improved Cimarron Golf Club? If you haven't, tell you what, you're missing out on the best deal in Jacksonville. Now, many of you have received a postcard in the mail, and of course, if you bring that with you, $45 plus tax to play. That includes a cart, lunch, and a beer at the brand new Stone Barrel Tap House. Now, go to the website, that is CimarronGolfClub.com, and sign up for the Wild One Loyalty Program. That's the Wild One Loyalty Program, and get all of these specials emailed to you from Cimarron.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealers Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers. Time now for a medical recap. A health and wellness tip from Jaguars head team physician, Dr. Kevin Kaplan.
Rotator cuff tears are the most common overhead injuries I see. In order to avoid shoulder issues, make sure not to overload the front of the shoulder while also focusing on developing good scapular strength and maintaining flexibility in your lats. Proper hydration, nutrition, and supplementation are also crucial to joint and muscle health. Go Jag.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Want to grow your hair back?
IHRS, right here in Jacksonville, is the only hair transplant clinic in the country that offers multi-unit hair grafting, FUE NeoGraft hair transplants, and the 45-minute effective PRP treatments.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
Thank you, IHRS.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Schedule a free evaluation and find out how to grow your hair back and keep the hair you have. Call 904-777-IHRS. Take the first step to restoring your hair today. Visit hairforme.com.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
IHRS has been restoring hair for men and women for over 30 years.
Call now for a free in-person or virtual evaluation. 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Or visit hair4me.com.
Don't make a bad call when it comes to servicing your home. Cooling off with a baby pool in the house to fix your air conditioning problem is a bad call. Trying to catch a wave in a flooded bathroom is a bad call. Using a burning electrical panel to make s'mores is a bad call. The next time something goes wrong, make a good call to Donovan.
Whether you need air, electric, or plumbing service, Donovan is always a good call. It's why we've been trusted by our customers for almost 40 years and why you can trust us to deliver fast, reliable service to your home. Donovan, always a good call.
Visit DonovanAC.com today.
Go inside your home team's locker room with Jags beat reporter Hayes Carline.
Check out my blog at 1010XL.com
so you can catch all the news and nuggets you need to know.
My blog is brought to you by Roland Reach Plumbing,
where quality and experience count.
This is head coach Matthew Driscoll from the UNF men's basketball team. When our players suffer an orthopedic injury, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists gets our players back on the court pain-free.
We appreciate the endorsements from our high school and college coaches. This is Dr. Kevin Murphy. The next time you need orthopedic care, you can rely on our team at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Stop letting high-interest debt weigh you down. Pay it all off in days thanks to Loan Pronto's new Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Imagine a completely hassle-free way to cash out your home equity. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan uses an AI-driven tech to get you approved for cash in as little as 1 day. One client got $100,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out their debt, launched a home improvement project, and is now saving over $1,000 a month. Instant approvals, low fixed rates, fast transfers. Get cash to consolidate all your debt and get a fresh start for the new year. Call Loan Pronto now and see how much you qualify for. Imagine this time next week, you can be credit card debt-free. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. That's 904-999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit, MLS, consumeraccess.org.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. Make your holidays bigger and brighter with PrizePicks, the best place to get real money action while watching your favorite sports. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. The app is really simple to use. Pick 2 or more players across any sport, pick more or less on their projection, and you can win up to 1,000 times your money. PrizePicks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app, is available to play in more than 40-plus states, including California and Texas. Join now because this holiday season, PrizePicks is giving away 2 free picks in December, and they're giving away $30+ million in rewards during Pickmas. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code JAX and get $50 instantly when you play 5. That's code JAX on PrizePicks to get $50 instantly when you play 5. You don't even need to win to receive a $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks. Run your game.
This is Molly McDonald with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist, a local sports update. The Florida Gators defeated Stetson to cap an undefeated non-conference slate in yesterday's matchup 85-45. Gator Elijah Martin led the way with 18 points, with Will Richard adding 17. The Gators started out fast, leading 17-5 in the opening minutes, setting the tone for the game. The Gators defense played well with a season high of 12 steals. Gators head coach Todd Golden postgame on the team's performance.
Just thought we did a really good job of just taking advantage of another opportunity to play. There were a lot of things that we could have done better, but I thought our effort and our intent, it was pretty good all day. You know, I thought we guarded really well, especially in the second half, limited them to 18 points. Did a better job on the glass in the second half, took a little bit better care of the ball. Again, process over result, I thought we did a good job, big picture-wise, and now it's on to conference play.
Next up for the Gators will be number 10 Kentucky this Saturday up in Lexington. It's 74 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the quarterback whisperer, Denny Thompson.
Okay, bring it in.
Brought to you by Tyson Sound and Security, security and automation experts, and George Moore Chevrolet.
1, 2, 3.
Kind of like the official unofficial, because he was already in for a seg trying to take Matt Hayes' job. Just so happened that Matt apparently heard that you were trying to take his job, so he's like demanding with RJ to get on the show. So he is out in the desert, so why not we combo this bad boy up as we talk with our quarterback whisperer and say hello to one of our dudes out in the desert.
Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
So the great guest is our co-host, Matt Hayes. He of USA Today Sports, covering the CFP out in beautiful Scottsdale, Arizona. You heard it, Matty. Denny got here early. He said, no, Matt. He goes, I'm ready to take over.
Yeah. Hey, I don't mind sharing the time with the quarterback whisperer, man. There could be worse people to share time with.
No, I was trying to get your job. I was just trying to take it, Matt. I'm sorry.
It's you know what? It's a lot of fun out here, man. We have an all access feed going with Boise State, so I've been spending time with them the entire week, and it's really fun watching how they work, how they go about their business. It's very similar
it's very similar to the way Alabama and Georgia work. It's just nothing is left to the imagination. There's a rhyme and a reason for everything. Every walkthrough. They just had their final walkthrough today, and they got headsets on. They're talking to the quarterbacks. They're out there for the coin toss. They do everything to the T, man. This is how we're doing it, and it's fun to watch it unfold. It really is.
Matt, I've been watching Boise State online, and they're embracing this underdog role. I saw they had shirts that said "Count us out."
Please count us out.
Please count us out. So I mean, they're all in on everybody, picking them to lose this game. So would you be surprised if you saw something different?
I think the one thing that everybody's forgetting, Leon, and we've talked about this many times on XLP, is, this team is literally two blown returns, okay? A kickoff return and a punt return against Oregon on the road in Eugene from beating the Ducks. And then Oregon needed a game-winning field goal as time expired to win the game. This is not just some, Johnny-come-lately team. This is a legit team that Penn State is facing, and Penn State gets it. I'm not sure everyone else gets it, though. I think everybody else still sees Boise as lovable little Boise that upset Oklahoma way back when, and it's not. This is a different situation with this team.
Matt Hayes, you can definitely hear him every day on XL Primetime, but out with USA Today Sports covering one of the CFPs, the college football playoffs. We might as well hit them all real quick with the few minutes that we got with you, but it does seem to be, hey, we've got to prove again that we belong. Well, Boise State had the benefit of extra rest, Matt, and it's not like Penn State had a struggle in the opening round because they just beat the they beat the U out of SMU is what they did. And so they definitely did not have they have the extra days of rest and kind of can stay red hot. So what side do you favor in terms of rest versus the play that Penn State got in?
Yeah, I think they're both healthy. I don't know that I care about the rest, although Dirk Carter, the OC at Boise State, I said he's a little worried about the time off. But, it's as long as you're healthy, and Danny can speak to this too, as long as you're healthy and as long as these guys are doing what they're supposed to do in practice and it looks good in practice, time off doesn't really matter. As long as you still have that time, it all works out.
I'm curious to see these games this weekend what effectively for some guys is 3 weeks off.
Oregon
that's
being one of the
a long
bigger ones,
time.
yeah.
That's a long time, and those first round games not being as competitive to your point, and I think it does, especially for a team like Boise State. The health is paramount because they're not going to have the depth that a Penn State has or something like that. But I think as far as preparation and those first 11 that run out, yeah, they deserve to be there. And if they can stay healthy and they can play mistake-free football, then they got a shot in this thing. I wouldn't bet on them, but they got a shot in this thing, I think.
Yeah, I think it's the one interesting thing about this game, speaking because we're talking to the quarterback whisperer, both of the backup quarterbacks in each of these teams, they're already in the portal.
Yep.
So Malachi Nelson was the backup for Boise State, the former USC quarterback. He's in the portal. Bo Prabula is already signed with Missouri, so he's out. So if something happens to a quarterback in this game, it's going to get ugly quickly for the team that doesn't have their starting quarterback.
Well, the Penn State thing is I think even unique because that kid was playing a role in the offense.
He was a factor.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Not just a wildcat.
He was playing 8 to 10 games.
Yeah.
Drew Allar's been playing good ball, though, man.
Yeah. That's another part about this Boise State team, too, Danny, is, you're literally talking about, Maddox Madison, this guy. Yep. Danny, they list him at 5'10". I'm telling you, he's not 5'10". They list him at 203. There's no chance he's 203. He's just this small kid that reminds me of, remember when Jonathan Smith played at Oregon State? Mm-hmm. And how he just looked literally like a miniature dude running around, and he just killed people. And that's the way this kid plays. That's the way Madison plays. He's just a really accurate thrower, a guy that's very smart, knows how to play the position, and they love him. I don't know if you know much about him, but he's fun as hell to watch, man.
So, Matt, we all understand that Boise State's the underdog. So give me some contributing factors as far as Boise State goes to how they beat Penn State. Give me 3 things that you think they need to do on New Year's Eve if they're going to beat Penn State.
Leon, you're going to love this, but it's line of scrimmage, man. I'm telling you right now, you look at these two teams, Joe likes to say off the hoof, you look at these two teams, man, it's not close. It's physically and athletically, Penn State has the advantage. There's no doubt about it. If Boise State can't block, if they can't protect, if they can't block and give Ashton Jeanty room to run, it's going to be a long day. And I think that's what most people expect. But again, I keep going back to it. I keep saying this because it has to be said. I mean, Jeanty ran for $196 on Oregon. And they dealt with Oregon's offensive line. They dealt with Oregon's defensive line. Oregon didn't get a sack against them in that game. So that's – I understand it. I get it. If you're looking at this thing, from 30,000 feet, you see, whoa, this is a mismatch. But if you get a little bit closer, I mean, there's a chance. I don't think there's any question that Boise State can win this game. I don't know that they do, but I think they absolutely have the ability.
All right, a couple more at Matt Hayes, CFB, USA Today Sports, along with XL Primetime here. So let's hit the other ones real quick because we mentioned Oregon, and it was a close ball game up in Eugene. We all know that Dan Lanning, masterful decision to put too many players on the field to get the flag, and obviously Ohio State messed up trying to kill the clock. None of it worked. Anyway, it was a field goal game. We know it was very close. Now Ohio State looks red hot. They are running the football well. And so Oregon struggles to stop the run. At least they have, mentioning what you just mentioned with Ashton Jeanty. Do you I know you like Ohio State now, Matt, but what could be the difference in this game going one way versus the other?
I think it's Will Howard. I honestly believe that. I get it that it all starts with the run game at Ohio State, and you've got two, just with Henderson and Junkins, two just elite backs. But they're so good when Will Howard plays well. When he throws accurately and he doesn't make mistakes, they're almost impossible to beat because they're so much more talented than most teams. He did not play that well in that game. He got hot in the second half the first time they played. But if he plays like he played against Tennessee, and again, it's a different situation. You're not at home. It's a bowl game. It'll be a 30-30 split crowd probably. You'll probably have a 50-50 stage. Probably a little more Ohio State. But if he plays well, Joe, they're going to be really, really hard to beat.
Mm-hmm. Are you saying that because you think we kind of know what Dylan Gabriel is? Like,
yes.
Don't we all know Dylan Gabriel's going to go out there?
Yes.
He's going to spin it. He's going to perform.
But yes.
Yeah. It's like you know what you're going to get out of Dylan Gabriel, but Will Howard is kind of that. I don't know. He doesn't have that experience that Dylan's got. And so is that why you're saying that? It's a little bit more based on that?
Yeah, I look, Oregon's going to give you what they're going to give you, and let's also not. I don't want this to be misunderstood too. Dylan Gabriel played great in that first game.
Mm-hmm.
He was fantastic. He's got to play that well too. But it's just there's so much that what they do offensively, Ohio State, and then this it revolves around the quarterback. They all do, but more so at Ohio State. If he plays well and he doesn't put them in bad positions, in bad situations, I don't see how Ohio State loses the game. I might be way off here because the Ohio State defense is playing at a high level right now. They're playing much better than they played at Oregon, and they're not going to be playing at Oregon again. Again, say that again.
Yeah.
But that's different. It's different, that environment they're going to be playing.
This seems pretty simple to me for Will Howard, is just get the ball to number 4. Just wherever number 4 is, that should be your first read.
Jeremiah.
Yeah.
There's
right. Well, it's not like Will Howard. It's also Chip Kelly. Like we go back to the Michigan game. I have no idea what Chip Kelly was doing. Michigan's number one strength is their run defense, and he kept pounding it in the middle, trying to run the ball. When he's got the best player in the field, he's not doing anything with it. So I agree with you. It's philosophically they do what they did against Tennessee: throw the ball and stretch the field, throw third level throws like they did against Tennessee, and I think they'll be fine in that game. I really do.
Yeah, there's two Jeremiahs that can really establish themselves, and we know that Smith is a superstar, and Love busted off that big run against Indiana. Georgia's got to handle him, and defensively, we know how good Kirby is going to be on that side of the ball, but that's going to be a big storyline.
Yeah, I think it will. I also think it's going to be, can Notre Dame block?
Yeah.
And that's going to be a problem because, look, that's what Georgia does. We all know. Every time we talk about Georgia in a big game, it's, well, can the other team block them? And we say it every single time a big game arrives. And that's a question right now at Notre Dame because they've had problems this season protecting. They've had problems against some teams, not every game, but some teams running the ball. This is a different animal right now with Georgia. Georgia's gonna literally say, all right, we're gonna play 2 safety high and we're gonna stop the run. Good luck. And Denny knows this. That's what they do, man. And if they can do it, if Riley Leonard can hit some throws, then they'll have a chance. If they can't, that's going to be an ugly game.
I think Riley Leonard's ground game is huge in this.
Defending that.
Yes, defending Riley Leonard in the way that Georgia likes to play defense. If he can do – I'm not saying he's Jalen Milroe, but if he can find the edge the way Jalen did, if they've had some issues with that, and Riley Leonard is capable of doing that.
And just a key little quarterback draw at the perfect time, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
To feast on,
I agree with that.
hungry dogs.
But let's not be mistaken. He does not have the wheels.
No.
Getting to the perimeter for him is going to be a lot more difficult.
But I'll just give you one example. Haynes King.
Yeah.
Okay. He does not have the wheels.
That's right.
But they definitely ran some design draws that gave Kirby in them fits.
You can scheme it up against Georgia. Yeah. You can scheme that up if you've got the personnel for sure.
And there was no mystery or surprise in Haynes King running the football. He was going to run.
No, but that's also a well-run offense.
Yeah, very true.
Well-run system too.
Yeah. All right, listen, hopefully we'll be able to visit with you again tomorrow, but appreciate you making the time. CFP, looking forward to seeing how all these go. I don't know whether it's going to be chalk all the way, but I think that's basically what you picked, right? You picked all the favorites, didn't you, Matt?
I did.
Yeah, you might have taken Notre Dame. I have to go back and look. Coach,
I don't think so.
Okay, all right, I'll check. But anyway, hopefully we'll be able to visit with you again. Thank you, dude.
Bye, fellas.
All right, at Matt Hayes, CFB, USA Today Sports, covering it there. And, of course, we'll be back with us after these CFP games are being played. So let's at least touch on those coming up here real quick, because Denny will stay his usual slot one more sec, because we got to bring up Carson Beck having the surgery. Now Gunnar Stockton's going to be in there. It is a huge benefit for Kirby to know that guy was going to be his quarterback as soon as they left the SEC championship game to start prepping for this. So we'll touch on that coming up. It is XL Primetime on a Mokama Beer Company Monday.
This is the last play of the game.
After the game, join Hacker, Leon, and Coach Campo for the Window World of Northeast Florida 5th quarter. Presented by Von Rowan Lawn and Hurricane Grill and Wings. 2 hours after the final whistle on game day on 1010XL.
Cigar smokers, all-pro lineman Leon Searcy here for my favorite spot, Cigars International. Cigars International is now open at the Town Center, a massive 6,200 square foot lounge with over 600 cigar brands, a full-service bar, and indoor and outdoor lounges with flat-screen TVs. Give their old fashions a try. They're the best in town. Follow on social for holiday specials and events. Cigars International is now open at the Town Center.
I'm Ben from Beard's Diamonds. My father and I buy our stones direct from the diamond cutters. No middleman, no big company overhead, no commission salespeople, and we pass the savings on to you. Before you buy anywhere else, remember, Beard's Diamonds will beat any competitor's price.
In the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
Hey, sports fans, it's Hayes Carlyon for MyBookie. While other books make promises, MyBookie delivers. This holiday season, they're stacking the deck in your favor with 12 days of Christmas now through the 31st, a festive lineup of can't-miss opportunities for bettors to cash in. Risk-free Thursdays, super boosts, and free bets. Weekly casino giveaways with hundreds of winners and thousands in cash prizes. All it takes is a 50-cent spin on BetSoft slots to enter. With the road to New Orleans, bowl games galore, and a Christmas Day sports feast featuring NFL action and an NBA doubleheader, this is your season to win. The 12 Days of Christmas event is live right now. Lock in today. Use my code 1010XL with your first deposit, and MyBookie will give you a little extra to start your holiday hot. MyBookie is offering a 50% deposit bonus for 1010XL listeners. Just sign up and use promo code 1010XL. There's a reason MyBookie has been the go-to for serious bettors for 10 years. Make your holiday season a jolly one with MyBookie.
Cruising with XL Prime Time in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
When was the first cruise ship voyage?
Southern Oak Insurance is proud to continue offering coverage statewide. Financial stability makes Southern Oak Insurance a wise choice for your homeowner's insurance needs. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The first cruise voyage was on the Princess and Victoria Louise, which set sail on her maiden voyage in January of 1901.
Southern Oak Insurance.
Our family protecting yours.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
Hacker here, and for the first time in nearly 20 years, I finally get to have a different resolution. Like most of you, mine was always to lose weight. I'd try something for a few weeks, maybe lose a pound or two, and then give up. Well, I tried. Starting the new year with Awaken 180 isn't a try. It's a sure thing. And why will you stick with it? Because instead of a pound or two, you'll see results right out of the gate. We all need motivation. After my first 3 weeks with Awaken 180, I was already down 30 pounds. Granted, I had a lot of weight to lose, but look at Dempsey, look at Matt Hayes. Those guys had results out of the gate too. Dempsey dropped 9 pounds his first week, Matt dropped 12 pounds. Regardless of the weight you need to drop, seeing those fast results will motivate you to reach your goal. Guys, girls, losing weight regardless of how many times you've tried is possible with Awaken 180. Make the sure bet and make 2025 the last time losing weight is your New Year's resolution. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Give us your hot take.
Pop quiz, hot shot.
On the 1010XL text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures.
You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm awake and I speak English, so yeah, I do know what you're saying.
Be part of the conversation. 641-1010.
Have you or someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI and all criminal offenses. I've been named the best DUI attorney in the state, and David has been named the best criminal defense lawyer in Jacksonville. In your battle with the justice system, there is only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645.
Mia here. Since 1982, Closets by Design has specialized in creating dream spaces for every budget. My designer, Frances, made the process so easy. She came to my house and designed a walk-in closet that's not only beautiful, but also incredibly functional for me and old Beau Valentine. Call today to schedule your free in-home consultation at 800-293-3744. Hey, and if you mention Mia or Helmets and Heels, you'll qualify for free base molding. Call today or visit closetsbydesign.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's Mocama Monday on XL Primetime. Head to the tap room at Fernandina Beach every day that ends with Y and enjoy some Mocama.
Thanks to them, we know that everyone's celebrating the holidays. And so if you're getting ready for a little New Year's Eve, you can pick up some delicious Mocama, ABC or Total, or head on up there and enjoy it. New Year's Eve, they commonly refer to that bad boy. We'll talk about it tomorrow as well as amateur night. Are you guys being seasoned pros? Do you dabble in the New Year's Eve celebration with all the amateurs that are out there?
No.
Yeah. Stay away?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Are you saying the ball drops around 9 p.m.? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I'll stay up.
I'll
stay up,
yeah.
but I'll have my own glass of bourbon and my own comfort.
Yeah, exactly. Without being out trying to beat the streets or anything like that. Smart move.
Yes.
Very smart move. Everyone designate a driver and behave yourself if you do go out. But there will be plenty of the hardy 1010XLers that they want to be at the beach. They want to be somewhere. But, yeah, just make sure you designate and be smart. There's a lot of amateurs that are out there tomorrow night.
Yeah.
That we know.
Yeah, I think if I went back into that scene, I would become an amateur again. It's been that long.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't do it, Leon.
No, me neither, bro.
All right. So let's talk first about Carson Beck and the surgery. And the University of Georgia put the press release out, Denny, last week, and you can kind of give us kind of fill in the blanks. But I was joking with Gio, Dr. George Bari. I call Dr. Elitros the Gio of the West. And Elitros was the one who performed the surgery, and they said everything went well. But we knew when it went down, and obviously you couldn't say a whole heck of a lot, but it was pretty significant. And a UCL is it's worse for a pitcher to come back from.
Right.
Not nearly as hard as to come back from for a quarterback.
Yeah, and there's different degrees and levels, and without getting too deep into this, I don't. This is not going to be anything that hinders his career outside of he's having to miss the most important games up to his human life at this point.
Yeah,
which stinks.
Still trying to play for a natty. Yes.
Right, which that stinks. But I mean, outside of that, I don't believe the surgery was successful. I don't believe that this is going to be something that hinders him any further than what it has to.
And really, I like to use Brock Purdy as an example, Leon, because he came here and trained and was around the facility with Denny and them.
Yeah.
And he went from a late January UCL, and his was a significant tear, and was ready to go by game one of the regular season. We're talking early 22 when Philadelphia went to the Super Bowl instead of San Francisco, and he was able to get them back in 23.
So he's going to miss. We know he's going to miss like the collegiate all-star games and the combine.
Right.
So but he'll probably do the interview process.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean these days, last year at the combine, there were only a few guys that threw and ran, and our guys like to. Most of our guys usually do. Caleb did not. So I don't know that he's actually going to miss a whole lot. I mean, he's got a lot of good film. He's played a lot of ball. The one thing about this class of quarterbacks is they're very productive. When you look at the class and you start looking at guys like Dylan Gabriel and Carson and even you have Will Rogers and Cam Ward just set records, like extremely productive class of people. So you should be able to get a pretty good evaluation off of these guys based off of the immense film that all of these guys have.
And we have to remind ourselves that is what they're supposed to. Scouts are supposed to be looking at that, right? GMs are supposed to be looking at that's where they get the main part of the intel.
Yeah, I think it's turned into largely a trait league. I think college has turned into largely a trait league. Production is important at the time, but I'm not sure how much production is important moving forward, because if you're whoever, you've got to find out how you beat Josh Allen and Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes, and you don't do that with average. So you've got to find some trait that very few people in this world have, and that takes precedence, I think, a lot of times over production. And I think for the most part, the stakes are so high, they're willing to take that risk in the NFL.
Yeah. When you think about it, it's basically what you had when you walked through the door from college to pro, what you represented.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I had the great Jackie Slater tell me when I was coming out, going into pro. He said you never stop learning until you hang them up. So I mean, it's constant growth. You're week in and week out. I mean, to beat those guys that you're talking about, the Mahomes out of it, you got to develop a trait to where each and every game, each and every week, you're growing and learning, because those guys are already at the pinnacle.
Yep.
And that's where you want to be.
Yeah, and you're not gonna compete with those guys with average, right? And the definition of average keeps going up with every level that you go, which makes this game so hard. I mean, we all know Leon. I mean, Leon's trait was just the strength, this punch, right?
Yeah.
Like there's literally nobody else. So that's what got Leon, and then you built around that, right? Then you built your mechanics and everything else around that. So that's kind of, I think, the same thing at the quarterback position is you find a guy with elite traits, and then you build around those elite traits, and hopefully you get, a Hall of Famer.
All right, so let's just touch real quick on Carson's replacement, Gunnar Stockton. And like I said to you, Denny, in the break, I got to give him credit. Okay, they were down 10-0. And they were able to get things going in the second half. Kirby is as good as it gets when it comes to second half, coming out of the locker room adjustments. And he obviously did that, and they were able to win. And they go to OT. Carson gets to come in there and basically finish it off, which was a great moment for him. But, Gunnar, differences at least that you would see or say.
Yeah, he's an athletic quarterback. I worry about Gunnar from the aspect of, like, this guy's coming in for his first ever start in a college football playoff game. And this stuff ain't easy.
Yeah, oh, by the way, it's an enormous game.
Right,
Yeah.
right. This stuff is not easy. So, I mean, I worry about that a little bit with him is just the moment. But he's a great player. He's a highly recruited player.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you can run an offense through and around him. But I think what you said last segment is really the truth is nothing against Gunner, but it comes down to what situations are you going to put him in that game if you're Georgia? And just by default, that means that you better be able to run the ball and you better play some good defense, which, by the way, is what Georgia's known for.
Yeah.
And then let me ask you this question. When it comes to Gunner, I mean, he's playing with house money. Maybe he doesn't know any better that this is a big stake game, and he just goes out there and lights them up.
That's such a great point. The old ignorance is bliss.
Yes, yes.
That's such a great point. And I do think, like, there's some of that, too, where you have to keep it simple, right? You can't overcomplicate it. You can't make it too complex because this guy's never seen this before, and there's beauty and simplicity in football. It's still block, tackle, make people miss tackles. Like, at the end of the day, that's still what it is. So, yeah, I mean, I think you could see that type of effect to where the simplicity helps a little bit with Georgia's identity because they have gotten away from their identity this year a little bit.
Well, yeah, but it's because they couldn't count on a healthy running back.
I know.
And they're still saying Trevor Etienne should be healthy. But, and by the way, what do we add up? 23 days. This is basically the same clock that they've been on. I think Kirby is 6-2 in college football playoff games. And this is the same clock. You win the SEC championship, and you don't play again until New Year's. And it'll be New Year's Eve, New Year's, basically the same timeline that they've been on. So this is nothing new for Kirby as far as getting these guys ready.
No, and I think in some ways, you look at this situation if you're Kirby Smart and you get a chance to go back to your basics in those 23 days. You get a chance just to reset. You don't. If I'm Kirby, I'm assuming he didn't prepare until this week, made it a normal week, and just go back to the basics now. And they got the best athletes in the country. If they get the basics down, they're hard to beat.
All right, who else do you like? Just in terms of, I am all of a sudden a Scatterboo man. I'm on Arizona State. Love this.
I saw your prediction.
Oh, yeah, believe me.
That's bold, bro.
I was being bold. And,
Jeff Sims is there now.
Yeah, Jeff's out there. And
he's backup quarterback in Arizona State.
Somebody brought it up the other day, and I'm like, dang, I forgot about that, which is pretty cool that he's out there. And obviously, you worked with him plenty, and so it's a good story that he's out there. But anyway, I just like what they do. Quinn Ewers and them have definitely proven that they can get the job done.
I don't like their matchup. I don't like that matchup at all for Arizona State. I just think there's a lot of experience. There's a lot of speed. There's a lot of speed on defense on that other side.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think that they win that game, but the story is really incredible. But I think any way you look at this, to me, you got to look at this as Georgia, Ohio State, Texas, Oregon.
Yeah, the Blue Bloods or the current Blue Bloods.
I mean, Ohio State is, if they play the way they did the other night, that's going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, I do get it. I totally get it. But it's funny, Arizona State and both Arizona State and Boise State, I don't think anyone else would fall into this category. Are they, quote, happy to get there? Happy just to get there? Or are they playing for more? And that's what you got to prove.
I know Kenny Dillingham really well.
He ain't just happy to be there.
Nah, he's going to dial some stuff up.
Yeah.
You better be ready. He's going to have some stuff dialed up. Yeah. No, without doubt.
Yeah. All right, Denny, thanks, man, for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. The quarterback whisperer at Denny_Thompson. Make sure you check him out there. And, yeah, we got all these to look forward to. Big spreads between a couple of these ball games. That's Penn State, Boise State, about 10.5 points at Hard Rock. And then I think it's a 13, maybe approaching a 14-point line with the Horns over the Sun Devils.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL.
Hey, Florida drivers, the holiday season is upon us. When celebrating, always plan ahead and know all your options. If you drink, don't get behind the wheel. Instead, designate a sober driver or catch a ride service. And if you are the designated sober driver, commit to staying sober. Besides, a DUI could cost you $10,000. Not exactly the best gift you could give yourself. Celebrate responsibly and remember to drive sober or get pulled over. This message brought to you by the Florida Department of Transportation.
Frank Frangie here. It's the holiday season and Nimnik Buick GMC is here for you. Whether you're making memories on the road or continuing family traditions right here in Jacksonville, you can always count on us because there's nobody but Nimnik. This month, save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierra 1500s or enjoy rates as low as 0% zero APR financing. That's right, 0%. Shop online 24/7 at NimnikBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
Post-game Monday on 1010XL is brought to you by Dandy Foods, makers of quality fresh sandwiches and home of the good stuff.
Get this thing unwrapped here. Duval!
Praz, what in the world are you doing working on your Duval?
That's right, man. I really identify with Duval.
You live in St. John's County, knucklehead.
I mean the Duval sub, the Daily Stash Duval. Turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheeses. Lettuce, tomato, crispy and fresh, like me. I'm sure there's a Daily Stash sub that sums you up.
The boss.
Because, of course,
oven roasted beef, Munster cheese, roasted mushrooms, caramelized onions. It's the boss of all subs. Only available for me.
That's just not true.
What do you mean? I walked in the other day, screamed, "You know it," and said, "A boss for a boss."
Well, no matter who you are, there is a Daily Stash sandwich or sub for you.
Go find yours. They may even make you a boss.
I'm sure they will, because it is Daily Stash.
Where more is better.
And you got that right.
Hey, poker fans! The Best Bet Winter Open Series returns to Best Bet Jacksonville from January 23rd to February 2nd. Satellites into the $1,500 main event kick off January 4th. Take your shot at big payouts with 8 action-packed events and $500,000 in guarantees. Visit bestbetjacks.com for more details. That's bestbetjacks.com. And we'll see you at the Winter Open starting January 23rd.
Make a resolution this new year to send all of your friends or family a Kuhn Flowers floral arrangement. ET here with 1010XL. Okay, how about sending just one person you love a floral arrangement? Kuhn Flowers can handle it.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On December 30th, 2018, Patrick Mahomes becomes the only second quarterback in NFL history to throw for 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns during the Chiefs' win over the Raiders.
There are 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and if you stay in your home long enough, a new roof. Pick it here for our friends at Lockhart Roofing. Nobody better in Jacksonville. How do I know? They are a local certified Master Elite contractor, and that means they have a GAF Master Elite warranty. That's the best in the roofing industry. In this day and age, don't settle for cheaper discount roofers. Lockhart Roofing has been here for decades. They aren't going anywhere. Call my friends at Lockhart Roofing, 994-3851. That's 994-3851. Lockhart Roofing, Jacksonville's best for Jacksonville people.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
Frank Franzi here for Stanley Pools. You know, pool design has come a long way, and if your pool is outdated, Stanley Pools specializes in bringing older pools up to date for the whole family to enjoy. That's why I did it a few years ago, and man, I love the way my pool looks now after we added travertine pavers and so much else. Stanley Pools has been serving our community since 1988, so call them today at 269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Jacksonville's building a fence along the goal line. This is the Superior Fence and Rail Defensive Player of the Game. Superior Fence and Rail, where quality matters.
Josh Hines Allen was sensational for the Teal and Black. The Jacksonville defensive end tallied 6 tackles against the Titans, with 3 being solo, and also recorded a sack in what was a great day. Allen made sure that his ruthless aggression rained down all game versus Tennessee, and is your Superior Fence and Rail's defensive player of the game.
If you're tired of your fence looking like a bad hair day, well, it's time for a fence makeover with Superior Fence and Rail. They'll make your yard the talk of the town with a new fence installed by their expert team.
Your fence is fantastic. My fence is giving all of my neighbors some serious pick and envy. Thanks, Superior Fence and Rail.
So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail for your fence installation project today.
SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Instant Keys.
You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys locksmith service.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Brian Thomas Jr. joined a list on Sunday for yards and touchdowns by a rookie that includes Hall of Famer Randy Moss. Jaguars head coach Doug Peterson on the rookie season for BTJ.
I said Randy Moss. I was on the sideline in Green Bay when Randy had a big day in Minnesota against us. I remember that, his rookie season. And, Randy Moss is a heck of a receiver. And Brian just keeps impressing each week. And can't say enough good things about Brian. And just happy for him. But it just goes to show you, just with him and speaking of Brian, just the way he works, the way he handles himself for a young kid, very impressive. Very impressed with Brian.
With your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update, I'm Andrew Gibson.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jacks cool since '87.
All right, my takeaway is Cam Ward. I think it's utterly ridiculous that people that don't know about the family and the family trying to assess what the family should do with a family member. We taking care of it. It's all good. He came in, he played, and he left. He got the record in the first quarter, and they sat him. Everybody's all in an uproar that he didn't finish the game, the Part-Tar Bowl, bro. Now, this was a national championship game, semifinal, quarterfinal. I'll have an absolute problem with it.
Of course.
Of course. I mean, but come on now. I mean, all that this kid has done for that. Listen, if you want to be mad at anybody, you be mad at the University of Miami. You assess, you get a talent like this, a unicorn that we haven't had in 22 years, and the best you can do is the Part-Tar Bowl. So if you want to be mad at, don't be mad at him. Be mad at the university that you couldn't get a defense to complement the offensive phenom that Cam Ward was.
And they're coming after your old line mate a bit on social, saying under Mario's watch, they still haven't won an ACC championship game. Still haven't gotten to a college football playoff. Both of them were right there in front of them.
Yeah.
And it's a shame. They need to win a league championship when it was 100% up for grabs this year. Clemson winning and representing.
Well, it's inexcusable.
Yeah.
It is really inexcusable. The last two games down the stretch, the last four games that Miami finished 1-3.
Yeah.
After being undefeated.
By the way, at least the Qs did go off in their bowl game.
They did. They looked well.
Yeah, Kyle McCord had a bunch of points, but it's just a shame. All right, my takeaway is I don't know if you have any birthday music queued up, RJ, but this is one of the greatest birthdays, and it was pointed out by one of our texters. Thank you for reminding me. LeBron James and Tiger Woods celebrate December 30th as birthdays. So happy birthday, both of you, because you two walking the planet, arguably dominating your sport for decades, not just for one, not for a 10-year run or anything like that. But LeBron and Tiger Woods both celebrating birthdays December 30th, which is pretty good. I celebrate mine with Frank Sinatra, chairman of the board, but these two guys are still walking the planet, still doing great things. Tiger, not nearly as much as he was. We may never really see him again competing outside of the majors. I really am like the PGA Tour cranks up again this coming weekend, and I'm really wondering if we're going to see in 4 short months Tiger take on Augusta again. I don't know if we will, because we obviously have seen the best of Tiger, and it's in the rearview mirror.
Did you see his son with the hole-in-one?
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was awesome.
Charlie.
It was Charlie.
Yeah. And he didn't know it, but he has got the smooth swing, 100% a carbon copy of his dad. If he can generate some clubhead speed and play with the mind and the body, the muscle, the way his dad did, then, yeah, he will be fun to watch.
He will be.
And we got all those winners from last year. One of the signature events coming up on Thursday, with the Century kicking off 2025. Hard to believe, 25. Okay, we're 2 days away from 2025. Let me have a that real quick, RJ, because this is something we were going to bring up earlier, but we need to bring it up now.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So it's going to be a mad dash for whoever wants to get their hands on one of the top head coaches that's out there. Well, Mike Vrabel's name has been thrown out quite a bit, and he had a consulting agreement with the Cleveland Browns that expires today. And so teams that are right now with head coaching vacancies, that would be the Chicago Bears after blasting Matt Eberflus out of his job, the Saints getting rid of Dennis Allen, the Jets with Saleh. We know there are others that are coming. We'll find out whether this whether it happens here in Duval. But anyway, a lot of those teams will be likely very interested in Mike Vrabel. And Cleveland had basically had him under a consulting agreement and was basically in a position where they just want to take advantage of his intel, know-how, everything he was doing, and then help Kevin Stefanski. It's gone sideways up in Cleveland. We all know that. But he is now out and available. And I wonder if Mike Vrabel is a guy that Shad Khan will look at, think about, consider if he does make a replacement with Doug Peterson. I hope at the very tip top that he's going to make a decision to wipe the slate clean and start with a brand new general manager, start with someone that can come in and put together the construct, everything that you need to be a winner.
Well, he's from initially we thought Belichick was going to be in the runnings here, but he's off the Belichick tree. And one thing I do remember about Vrabel and his teams, they were tough, mentally and physically tough.
Yeah.
They weren't no easy out. Let me just say that much.
No. And it wasn't necessarily a pretty offense, but if you go back to when Tannehill was operating at a pretty high clip, they had a lot of good players. They definitely had a very strong defensive front. Defensively, they were basically good front to back. And then they had a good run game with Derrick Henry. How could you go wrong there? They didn't necessarily have all the other pieces, but yeah, they were one tough football team.
Yeah. Well, listen, they were at one particular point, they were the number one seed. And if it wasn't for Tannehill's 3 picks, and that one and done, they were the odds-on favorite that one particular year. Yeah, when they were the number one seed in the AFC.
They went into Baltimore, and lost.
Yeah, Tannehill threw 3 picks in that game, I believe.
Something else. All right, now real quick, this is something that we will probably feed off of as we go through the rest of this week, because the Colts are coming to finish out the regular season schedule with the Jags. Pat McAfee went off on his former team. And I'm just going to read one little bit of this because someone basically came on X and said, hey, McAfee, I hope you unload on the Colts the way you promised you would. And he put together a long post. And this is just a little blip of it. In the biggest moments, everybody with a brain knew they'd crack, referring to his Colts. And they did. A blind person could see the red flags on this team. Work ethic questions. Never happens on good teams. Preparation commitment questions. Never happens on good teams. Late to meetings. Never happens on good teams. Late to / skipping treatment. Never happens. The franchise quarterback tapped out of a game on 3rd down. Is referring to Anthony Richardson. That's literally the only thing you need to tell someone who knows ball, and they could tell you everything about this team. It's just nuts that he went off on them and basically is ripping what the GM and the head coach and the team have put together here this late.
Yeah, he must have got some intel. But listen, that's this Colts team is no different from any other Colts team that we've been familiar with. Having this Colts team, a couple of years ago, maybe 3-4 years ago, they came in Jacksonville only needing a win in Jacksonville. And we were abysmal, 2-and-something team.
Yeah.
And they came in Jacksonville and we beat them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, this is not any new stuff, but just my history of dealing with players in the locker room. You want to say the GM and the head coach, but listen, players police players. If you got enough leadership within the locker room, all those things that he's speaking about, that means the lack of leadership is allowing it. I mean, guys missing meetings, guys missing treatment, guys not all in tune, not preparation wise. That has to do a lot more with the players than it does the GM and the head coaches.
But I guess the culture is somehow.
Yeah.
I know the players.
That's what's being allowed. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. There's no leadership.
Yeah.
That's what's being allowed. If players are allowed to miss meetings and all this other stuff that he referred to, that's on the players.
And I do believe that players can run that culture.
Yeah.
But I think it still has to be installed at the top for every player that comes in that building to understand. Kind of how you described Pittsburgh when you walked in.
When I first walked in the door.
You understood it.
I understood. There's a line. Stay in it.
Yeah. And so that has to happen here. It has to happen in any one of these organizations to build a winner that's consistent and take a look at what the winning teams have done. They've been able to remain consistent, at least most of them. And that includes Mike Tomlin, even though they're on a little 3-game L streak. Look what they've done. 21 consecutive seasons without a losing record. But McAfee goes on to say real quick, I've said what I believe to be the truth about this team, and a bunch of fans on the internet were trying to get me booed out of the city. Current players who have won nothing during their entire tenures started using me and my face to try and point me as the enemy in the city I've committed my life to. And in the end, everything went just like I said it would. So he's hammering them. And we started the show basically saying, loud voices like yourself, you know what the standard looks like. You know what a football team does for a city, and you know how committed this city is to this football team. The fandom is real. They want to win, and you keep handing this type of product to these fans.
Yeah.
It's not right.
No.
And somehow or another, the owner needs to be able to hear that, see that, and do something about it.
I agree. Totally agree. That's why I cringe sometimes when I hear some of these players scream Duval in the locker room. They don't know what it means to be a dude. They don't know what that means. You just say it because it's complimentary at that time to say it. But do you really know what that means?
Yeah.
To be yelling Duval, that means you rep this city to the fullest.
Exactly. Let's hope with one more game to go that good things are ahead for the Ville, because they've not been treated well of late. That's for sure. We are done. Mocama Beer Company Monday. We say thanks to them. You'll find them up in the Dina. You can go from Duval to the Dina and find them in Wildlight or right there in beautiful Fernandina Beach, or find them on the shelves at ABC or Total. Check out Mocama.com with the Mocama Beer Company. Joe C., Big Searcy, Maddie out in the desert. Hopefully we'll have a visit from him again tomorrow. Coach Campbell will be back. We turn you loose on the Frangie Show now. RJ, take it away.
You guys wouldn't figure it out.
Winners get washed.
Yeah, we suck right now, so I don't.
It wasn't you.
No.
Okay.
Like, I'm just praying for the Lord to deliver me from